Hey guys, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel. We're continuing the inspection on Andy's Hilux he's just purchased. I think that's who it is. I've got so many people, I can't remember. You know, you pick up the phone and 10 texts a minute and all these names. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it's Andy's car. He's just picked it up recently and we're having a look at it to let him know he wants a plan moving forward. And I hope he knows that, like most vehicles that people are selling, they've done absolute bare minimal maintenance and they haven't been looked after that well. And you can see this one, it's certainly not to the standard that would get in the Prado hospital. So this is the first problem. Lucky its initial visit now is here for an inspection. And the most important thing on the inspection is, the first thing that needs to happen before this ever comes here again, this engine bay needs to be cleaned up, because I can't really inspect anything because I can't see through the dirt. I need to have my mud glasses on. Anybody got a spare pair of mud glasses? You got some mud glasses there, mate? Because I can't see. What about this one? Do you want to work on this?
Not really, no.
Yeah, so why not? What's wrong with it?
It's too dirty.
You've been hanging out with me too long. Anyway, so, right, okay, we've got a battery. That's cool. That part looks okay. It's nice and red, but it's still a bit, it's just really grubby. Hard to tell what's what. I don't know, just, it doesn't seem like there's no, it's looked after now. We can't blame the current owner because he just picked it up. That's what it's here for, to let him know what's going on. Look, somebody put the drain plug in the top of the radiator. I don't know how. Mate, have you got any ideas on how we can turn this car upside down so we can drain the radiator? Because that's a radiator drain plug, right? So anyway, just having a bit of a muck around. It's all good. So, as I said, that gear there to stop the bugs and that, not bad. But then it's going to block up as well. So that wasn't a Toyota design. Got to be aware of that because that could block up. They've taken off the radiator panel and actually bolted it underneath. Personally, I'd probably get rid of that. So that's something as part of the inspection that I'm recommending. So first thing is a big clean up all this mess and get rid of that thing from in front of the radiator. I'd probably go the BFE job. I can't see a timing belt sticker. It's close enough to 300,000. Let's just start fresh. That old belt there, that looks like rubbish. You know why it looks so bad? It looks like there's not even a belt there. It's been changed, it's aftermarket, right? Look down the bottom, how do I know? Because I know how crap it is looking at it. But if I look down the bottom, hang on. Let's get the camera down there. See down the bottom there, you can see that white writing on the belt. It won't focus, but I can tell you, it says Daco, right? So that belt right there that's been replaced, that thing, that's a belt, right? Same as here, this is supposed to be. Look at the surface on it. It's absolute rubbish. If you've got a 1KD at 150,000 Ks, go and have a look at it now after this video, after you press like and subscribe and turn the bell on, and go and have a look at that belt. And if you've got a shiny belt like that, it looks like a steel pulley, it's that crap, right? And these belts, they get noisy. Just stick with a genuine, trust me. Trust me on that one, right? There's no timing belt sticker. We don't know if it's been done or not. We don't know if they put a Daco on there. We don't know if they replaced the idler or the tensioner. The bloody thing's done 250 something thousand Ks, I think, yeah? Do you want to, can you check for me, please, how many Ks?
245,000.
How many?
245.
245, so close enough, whatever. Right? Coolant. Okay, what have they done? What have they put some other mix? Mate, it's that filthy, we can't even see through the bottle. I wouldn't know what's going on. Lights on, lights off. It's just, it's a grot bag. You know, you've seen my videos, what things normally look like. So it needs a big clean up. This is like a, this is about $100 clean up under the bag. Degreaser, wash it, degreaser again, wash. It's going to need like 5 washes or something. Anyway, right? Or you can do it yourself, but you know, needs to be to a really decent standard if it's going to come in this Prado hospital again. And it's going to need to be a good standard to get into any Prado hospital. So the inspection says it's a grot. So brake fluid probably hasn't been changed. Air filter, with this amount of grottiness, you could only assume that it's probably filthy. Have we looked in there yet? Have you looked or not? We haven't looked there yet, but we will. We're not doing a service, we're doing an inspection, so it's not really, it's more part of a service that. I believe it's been serviced. We'll probably have a look at it anyway. What else around here? So it's mainly cleaning up. I'd want new coolant. I'd probably even go as far as to go for, I'd have a look at the condition of the power steering wheel. Might be worth doing a flush, but you know, I don't see issues with power steering wheel and that's causing issues, so that's not a big thing we really talk about. You can see it's got a, some sort of, it's got a Ryco oil filter, and we've got a brand new air filter. So let's go back and have a look at that. Beautiful, look at that. And has it got the grease there where it's meant to have the grease? No, they've put it on dry. So that, can you please just touch the area to show everybody where the grease is meant to go? I'll do it, here we go. In this area here, it's meant to be lightly greased, because that goes over this and to help it seal up and slip on and all that. So let's do an upgrade, mate. Let's put a little bit, grab that rubber grease there and put a little bit on there for him. Even though it's not part of our thing, you know, that's what we do. Now, look, I'm really struggling to see anything. I suppose we need to talk about injectors, so we really need to get on the diagnostic tool. That's why you can hear, you know, the turbo actuators, you know, powered up. It's all normal. You know, somebody said, how do you get rid of that noise? Well, turn the key off. Start the engine, you know, I don't know, you can't get rid, it's how they are. Anyway, right, just have a look at the fuel pipes. That clamp there, not missing, doesn't look over tightened. I reckon the injectors have never been out. This is just my initial first look, no bolts missing at this age. Only takes 1 or 2 jobs for these fools working on vehicles to bend pipes, crush clamps, leave them missing, leave some bolts out, or upset something that we can look at and go, yeah, someone's been at it. You know, it only takes once, doesn't it, really? By 2 or 3 times, your car's butchered, mate. If they've been in there, if they pulled your injectors out every 40,000, that'd be 40, 80, 120, 160, 200, 240. They've been out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, mate. This thing would be wrecked, mate. It would be just say, you know, take it to the wreckers, take it to scrap metal. Luckily, they've never been out. Bad news and good news, because it's an 09. That means they're 12 years old and they've done 250,000 Ks nearly, which is not good, but just goes to show you how good they are. They do run that well, and it obviously runs pretty well, otherwise you wouldn't have purchased the vehicle. Let's have a look. I just want to confirm. Yeah, it's pretty grotty, that plate over there. But, yeah, bit of heat too by the looks of it, I reckon, from that discoloration there. Is that what that is? Unless someone's sprayed a can of spray paint up the bug catcher. I don't think so. I think it is from heat, a bit discoloured. It's lost the black, it's faded off or something. I don't know. I don't note that I've seen that before. But look, it's a Toyota. I can't see any issues up here. But like I said, I haven't got those mud glasses to see through. Hear that? Hear the turbo noise? Normal when the key's on. All right, mate, we're gonna fire it up and have a look at the diagnostic readings, and we've shown you those before. Check out our vehicle inspection playlist if you want to see more videos like this. And there's also a playlist, injector diagnostics. Right, we've got about, I don't know, I'm guessing there's about 30 playlists there. Okay, so check those out because that will help you understand the diagnostic information. Now, this being an 09, I actually need to know what month it is. October 09. So okay, so he's kind of lucky, right? Because the injectors changed around September 09. They're different injectors. The lucky part is these are better, and the replacements that we put in to replace these are better again. They're really good. Full DLC, right? And the bad news is they're a little bit dearer than some of the other injectors because of the components and the cost, the manufacturing costs, whatever. You know, if they're cheaper, then maybe it's too good to be true. Maybe you're getting counterfeit, maybe you're getting remanufactured, or some other brand. We recommend only brand new, genuine. So if you want, mate, start it up, and I'll come around and we'll have a look at those diagnostic numbers. Alright, as you can see, the engine's, well, it's pretty well cold. You can see the coolant temp there, 29. So of course the load reading is going to be up a little bit. So 20 is not too bad considering the temperature. Let's just have a bit of a slide down and have a look at some of the other usual sorts of readings we look at. And that actually doesn't look too bad either considering the engine temperature, and the feedback values look good as well. Looking at these readings, I would actually say these look like new injectors. And you know what, this is awesome that this is happening again. Well, this always happens to me. Anyway, because what happens sometimes is usually I can just tell you what they're going to be, and they're going to be off their heads at this sort of kilometres. But remember what I said about these injectors being better. It's not the old type, so these do work a lot better. And it's like, you know, have you forgotten, have I forgotten, or have you forgotten that when those injectors changed September 09, those vehicles from then onwards, you can't really rely much on diagnostics. because the readings never go out. If you want it, well, not, I shouldn't say never, I've said this before, check the diagnostic playlist, you'll hear me saying it over and over again. Basically, they rarely go out. So you're looking at this and you're going, they're fine, leave them in there. Hey, Toyota did say they last the life of the vehicle, so you can leave them if you like. You've seen the block door pickups, so you want to risk that. So Toyota didn't say leave them in there forever. They said take them out, check the valve clearances, and change the seats every 40,000. So if you want, you can do that. You can pay heaps of labour and check the valve clearances and they'll be fine, we know that. And you can just pay heaps of labour every 40,000 k's. Or you can take my advice and not do that, not risk contamination, know that the valve clearances will be okay, as long as you haven't got a catch can. And then when you get to my recommendation about the 170, 7 years 170, obviously you can get lucky and it can go further because we've got 245k here, right? And then, well, you reckon this oil pickup, what do you reckon? You reckon this oil pickups, things are about to go bad on this vehicle? Because we've got a fair idea the injectors have never been out. Mate,
could be.
2009, that's 12 years. That's Captain Risky. This vehicle needs the oil dropped and the oil pickup checked as a matter of urgency. The injectors, the seat's probably not leaking because I don't notice any sort of rough idle. Have you noticed any? It's pretty smooth. So this is one of the lucky ones, okay? That's why the readings look okay. The seats aren't leaking yet, but they're about to be. And if it isn't, if action and prevention isn't taken, it's about to go bad. Like you can check that other playlist again. That, what was it called? 2007 120 Prado, engine all but dead or something like that. There was about 7 parts to it. Try and watch them in order, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if I put the playlist together properly and they're in order or not. You can check it out. It's not hard to do. Playlists are very important bits of information. I'll be checking them out. So, as I said, not a lot to see here. Yeah, Toyota said the injectors are going to last the life of the vehicle. So you can leave them if you like. Doesn't bother me, but you're going to pay the labour at my recommendation, let's say 170, or in this case, 250. To replace what, just the seats and check the valve clearances that they're going to be okay again still. No catch can under this bonnet. So we're going to do that and we're going to put it all back together, the same injectors. We can do that. You might crack a piston. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, I'll give you an example. If you've been watching our videos, our Hilux 2013, it was quite rattly. So I wasn't going to put injectors in it. I wanted to really just push it out and leave them and see how far they'll go until we start getting some bad readings here to show people. But it was really noisy, so I put new injectors into it. But the new injectors, well, it may have made it a bit quieter, but it's still noisy. So then I said, well, let's do some more research and tell you, R&T you. And we took a set of injectors out of a customer's car that we replaced based on average recommendations. 170,000 Ks, 170 odd, something in the 170 range. That had never been out, or maybe once, but we think never had been out. Put them in to our Hilux. It's the test vehicle now. We're going to test your injectors in our Hilux. And guess what? It's heaps noisier. Now, before where it was quiet when it was... Now, let me be clear, it's a 2014 Prado they came out of that wasn't really noisy because it's got that insulating cover, so you've got to be careful of that. So, we've taken them out of a vehicle that the owner sort of said, oh, I think they might be starting to be a bit noisy, you know, especially when they're cold. And I'm like, okay, no worries, it's recommended kilometres, 175 or 8 or whatever it was. It's 7 years because it's 2014, 21 now, it's 7 years, no worries, we can do that. And we take them out and I go, hey, let's chuck these in my Hilux and see if this fixes the noise or changes it, because maybe a worn set worked better than a fresh set, I don't know. So we do that, we put them in and it's got the same rotor when it's hot, because it's probably normal on Hiluxes and you just can't hear on Prados because of that insulating cover. We've tried a number of things. We've tried different suction control valves. We've tried different MAP sensors. We replaced the MAP filter and cleaned the manifold. There's not much else left to test, do and swap Gnostic with, if you know what I mean. So it's pretty much how it is, but the key thing to remember is those injectors the new ones were at least very quiet when it was cold. The rattle's more of warm, and there's been some people put comments there saying, yeah, mine does that as well, and I've replaced this and replaced that and all this sort of thing, but it hasn't fixed it. Well, maybe that's how they are, but I hope it's quiet when it's cold, because mine was with the new injectors, and now even with full DLC injectors at 170 odd K, it's got this pretty horrid rattle when it's cold. It's like a one injector kind of a knocky pingy, you know, there's a real rattle to it. Okay, so not good. So what we're going to do, we're going to put a new set of injectors in it? No. We're going to grab another old set of injectors off the bed that we take out of a car or somewhere, and we're going to take note whose they are. We're going to take care of them. We're going to chuck them into my Hilux again and see what they do. We're going to keep changing injectors, mate. You're going to love this, mate. Changing injectors on the Hilux every month or two, you know. So we're going to do a whole heap of R&T use. We're going to put another set in it, because these ones are bloody noisy, and that's the point here, right? The readings on my Hilux and all these other vehicles are good, but we get all these people coming in saying, oh, it started to get a bit noisier, it's a bit, you know, and you put the new injectors in and it quietens it down, and they're happy. It's a solution for them. So what do you think? If it's starting to get a bit noisy and the readings are okay, do you leave it or do you change them? You can put that one in the comments. Doesn't bother me. I'm just trying to share the information to give you the right advice and show you all the readings. And what I'm seeing here at the moment, it's a little bit off normal, but it's all fairly normal. There's nothing really worth discussing too much. Let's have a quick look at the fuel pressure, because this has probably got the long suction control valve. Like I said, you can't always tell by looking at that whether you've got a problem. Feedback values are still looking awesome. So if you want to save money, you can leave these injectors in, but do not leave them in without changing those seats, because I will just about guarantee you're going to end up with a blocked oil pickup before 300,000 K. So I won't guarantee it, but just about. And yeah, I'd be changing the injectors, or, you know, I'm not as confident, but you'll probably end up with a cracked piston at some stage sooner rather than later from leaving the injectors in too long. It's well documented by Toyota. Wrong combustion caused by injectors. Okay, you can see the load readings come down to 13. The load reading on these ones does vary a lot. Should be lower because it's a manual, there's less load. See, we talked about earlier in another video, you can see the stick right there, manual. So less load, that's why it's down around 13. These normally sit around the 15 mark. Check out all the diagnostic videos. I've talked enough, haven't I? Yeah, getting the nod, Alright, we're out of here, guys. That's the video on the inspection and the diagnostic up this side and all the information. So you need to use that information to make your own informed decision. Go and do some other research if you like, talk to some other people. But my problem with that is you just get more confused, because then you can get mixed information. So what I really want you to do is choose who to listen to. Just listen to me and do what I recommend, or don't listen to me and go and listen to someone else and do whatever they recommend, and just see what works out and who's got more happier customers. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe, turn the bell on. More videos coming your way. See ya.